I can give you an example of how deeply impossible it is. We've talked about, oh, you didn't agree, whatever. Let's take another step. You say, okay, I want to do my anti-racism work. How do I do it? And they tell you to go read some stuff. Well, if you didn't agree with every conclusion, you didn't engage properly. You're engaging in what's called privilege-preserving epistemic pushback. That's Allison Bailey. Okay, so let's say you say, well, I want to do my anti-racism work. What do I need to do? And like, well, you need to understand the oppression from the perspective of somebody who experiences it because it's the only people who know it. So you need to find a person of color to teach you about that. And you say, oh, you're a person of color? Will you teach me about that? No, they can't, because it's epistemic exploitation. Epistemic exploitation. Nora Berenstain, 2016, wrote about epistemic exploitation, which occurs anytime a person with privilege or power asks a marginalized person to explain their lived experience and do that work such that they understand, which improves them and makes them a good dominant person who has done their anti-racism work. So you're exploiting you can only possibly learn about marginalization or oppression by talking to somebody who actually experiences it. There's no other possible way. But to do that is a form of exploiting them, which is racist. You can only learn about racism by talking to somebody who experiences racism, which is everybody who is that has the identity, whether they claim to or not. And then if you ask them to explain it, which is the thing that they demand of you, you're exploiting them, which is racism. This is what their theory, this is the state of critical race theory since roughly 2010. This is what the theory says.
And so it is infecting every field.
You cannot
every
win.
field.
Every field.
Every field.
Even the STEM fields in the academy.
Yeah.
Right.
The way they do that is they create a parallel thing.
Right.
Critical nutrition studies next to nutrition studies. They start picking at nutrition studies until they get taken seriously.
Feminist geography.
Feminist geography until that gets taken seriously. You could go post-colonial theology, critical race theology. So then you have theology, critical race theology, post-colonial theology. You have, there's 3 different kinds of theology. But what do you have here? Well, you have this one that's focused on justice of race. You have this one that's focused on justice of whatever colonialism represents. Then you have the one that's not focused on justice. Is that the one you want? You want the one that's not justice? So they create this parallel thing that's designed to complain about and point out problems with the main thing to give itself legitimacy. This is how a vampire looks like a person. He called it a vampire ideology. It looks like a person, you invite it into your house and it can bite you on the neck and drain your blood and kill you and extend its own life. It looks like the thing, oh, critical race theology. It's a form of theology. It's legitimized as a form of theology by the very name. All it does is attack the other kind of theology, and then eventually when it gets enough credibility, it sets itself in opposition and says, well, we're the critical race kind, you're the chauvinist kind. Pick whichever one you want. Sure, you're free. Be a chauvinist. Be a racist. This is how it operates.
Yeah.
I wish I was exaggerating.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't read this theory to know this.